What's going on YouTube? This is Josh from Nature's Order, and I'm going to be talking to you today about chicken brooder setup. So we just passed St. Patrick's Day, had a couple of nice Guinness, some good beer, but now it's officially chicken season. So it's time to get started. I've got some cleanup to do. I'm going to go over some of the stuff that we have learned over the last couple of years to help your guys' brooder come out better. So when I built this little area, we figured it'd hold 30 chicks for a few weeks, 2-3 weeks. It's about 3 feet by 8 feet. So good sized brooder, not anything crazy, but just used old pallet wood, some scrap clear plastic. It's really dirty right now. And then we had our chickens in the area behind. And so I wanted to keep them out of here, so I put up chicken wire to keep big chickens from getting with little chickens. Because believe it or not, they would just fly over this shield. And I'd find my big chickens with my new chicks, and we didn't want that. But what I gotta do first here, besides clean everything out, is I did the door opening in. I didn't want to block this space. I hear you guys, hang on. But I can't do deep bedding with the door open in that way. The most important thing really is like they're protected from predators, they're out of the weather, so there's no wind gonna hit them. And we did one heat lamp here last year, seemed to be enough. We might end up doing 2 in here in the beginning. I'll kind of see how it goes. Another benefit to having the door swing open, as I'm just seeing, is then I can put my feed and water on this side. Makes it easier to get into. So we're going to be doing some serious improvements to this chicken coop too. We're going to be moving the chickens out on pasture for the summertime. So there's going to be 2 follow-on videos to this. 1, how to set up an actual chicken coop, and 2, how to set up a portable chicken coop that we're going to be using in the summertime. As my chickens are escaping, let me go catch this little guy. So make sure you click that like button and hit subscribe so you can see our follow-on videos to the chicken brooder and to the chicken coop. So this is all set, it's cleaned out, it's ready to get our bedding in there and get ready for chicks. So because we're using wood chips, my wood chips have not been covered, they've been sort of stored outside here. But wood chips are so absorbent that maybe the top foot will be wet, damp, and then inside of that pile will still be nice dry wood chips. So my chicken coop happens to need a layer of covering. What I'm going to end up doing actually is bringing the wet wood chips into the chicken coop to eliminate stink, and then I'm going to bring the dry wood chips into the brooder for our deep bedding. probably gonna have to do the unfortunate thing there in the buckets and then over to here. Again, part of my concern about putting the door on this way. So I know it's hard to tell on video, but what I did is I built up from the ground here like a berm coming up to the wall. And that's to keep the chicks out of the corner. It's about 4 inches deep in the center here and 8 to 10 inches deep on the sides. The beauty is when these chicks are done, then we'll be able to just rake this stuff into the center, maybe put a light other coating on, and bring in new chicks. And then we're just adding an inch or two throughout the summer. And then at the end of the chick season, this will be done. And we're gonna take it, I'm thinking go from there out to here, and it can start to break down. Okay, so now we got our bedding in. We're ready to figure out our lighting, whether we're gonna do 1 light or 2. We gotta get our food and water containers in there. And then all that's missing is our baby chicks. Now that we're on to feeders and waters, and lighting actually, let's kind of talk about some of that. So I'm going to show you guys kind of what we've learned over the years, what we've used, graduated to, and what I'm going to be working on next. And if you're interested and you like this video, you see something that you like or you're learning from it, please like it and subscribe so that you can see the next stuff that we're going to be doing, like self-feeders and self-waters, hooked up to both 5-gallon buckets and a rain barrel. So that way we can kind of really be hands-off once they get into a little bit safer stage. We use these smaller feeders and water dish when we first get them. And the reason why is because we need to be checking on our baby chicks regularly. Our brooder is out in our shed, our outbuilding I should say. They're not in our basement, we're not like hanging out with them. We gotta come out 2-3 times a day specifically to check on them. And when we first get them the first week, we're out here 3 to 4 times, sometimes 5 times a day. And so having smaller waters and feeders kind of forces us not to be lazy. We have to make sure they have constant feed and water. It's super important the first stage to make sure they're getting all that they need. I have seen some people do the electrolyte packages. You know, you can buy those. I think they're a couple bucks. Those are great. We did those the first time too. What we have found is we actually use just some apple cider vinegar. This is great value. We often buy the organic kind as well. We literally will just do a splash of that in the water to kickstart and give them good gut health and stuff like that for their immune systems, kickstart their immune systems. And feed. Feed is super important. We order a non-GMO feed. I try to go all organic, but I can't always afford that, and organic feed can be really expensive. So I've kind of found a middle ground using non-GMO feed. This is just from our local place here in upstate New York, Keystone Mills. But this is Pilgrim's Path. We'll do a close-up picture of this. But chick starter for pullets and broilers is actually a crude protein of 21%. And your chicks are going to be growing rapidly, so especially broilers. I mean, they're an 8-week life cycle, so they need constant high quality feed. Also, in that feed, so you've got a high quality feed now, we add poultry grit right from day one. Their chickens, if they were hatched in a normal, with a hen in a normal situation, they'd be eating off the ground. They would be walking around amongst other chickens with their poop feathers, all that stuff. So they'd be eating grit naturally anyways. So we introduced it to them right away. This is nothing fancy. We got it, I think, at our local Country Max store. I know some people who do, oyster shells and stuff like that, clam shells broken up or whatnot for the calcium, and that's fine. If those are, if that's what you're into, by all means. This is what works for us. We kind of move it in stages. So this is like our first week stage, and then once the chicks grow, they're going to be eating a lot more. And so we usually go from the first week to this, the second week to a closed container. I want to climb on this stuff and they don't quite know better yet. So this helps keep them off of it. And then I will also start to incorporate one of these feeders, which is a little bit more open, and it has the little roll bar that's supposed to keep them off. I do find we end up with more poop in this one than we do the covered one. So these have sort of gotten to like, I grab them if that's what I have. They're easy to fill, but there's more poop in the feed. And then the next stage of that is we use a bigger feeder like this guy that they can eat all the way around and get a lot more, or a larger water such as that. I can't stand these as much. They're cheap, but I always lose the black cap and I can never fill it back up all the way. And as far as heat source, there are some different heat sources out there. Just the good old-fashioned heat lamp works fine. I don't happen to have a light bulb right now, so I will post a picture of that here for you. That way you can see we usually use a clear light. That's sort of our feed and water setup, the things we've found and used. Again, if you found this helpful, hit that like button. But let's go get some baby chicks. All right, so we got our baby chicks, and because Murray McMurray Hatchery, for us at least, is sold out until October, so I had to come to my local Country Max and get some. So we got 20 birds. So let's go home and we'll get these guys in their new brooder. So these guys were a little cold, so we put a second heat lamp in. Well, thanks for spending your time with us today, guys. I hope you got something from this video that you can use on your farms or your homesteads. Doing a brooder is really easy. You just need some basic stuff, right? Shelter, protection from predators, warmth, heat lamps or a warmer, water, a little bit of apple cider vinegar goes far, a really good high quality feed, and then what you prefer on the bottom. I've seen straw, I've used straw, shavings, wood chips, really fine like ground chips. Any of that stuff works. Use what's available to you. It's not rocket science. They know how to take care of themselves. We just have to provide the basics and necessities. So if you saw something you like, apparently that chicken has seen something she likes. I bet you she'd hit that like button, so you should too. Subscribe so you can get further content. We gotta clean out this brooder, redo it. I'm gonna be making a mobile brooder. We've got cows to get ready for, I got fencing to put up, waters to run, waters to do. So if this kind of stuff interests you, hit that subscribe button, follow along with our journey here at Nature's Order, where God's creation is the order we're seeking to replicate. God bless.